Here's our chicken coop and our little flock of 4 chickens and a dog that thinks she's herding them. And so what I'm doing is I'm getting them ready for winter. We got a scarecrow here to help keep animals away from me. But I'm gonna get them ready for winter because it gets pretty cold here. And I'm gonna try the pop can heater. So here's my design. I put it on just a piece of foam, the insulation kind of foam that goes up there. So my plan is to use some of the wider pop cans and some of the thinner ones to make a kind of intestinal shape tube here where the cold air comes in, goes through, has a hole between that layer, comes around and around and so forth until it goes all the way up to the hot output where the warm air should go into the coop. I'm hoping that the just hot air rising as it warms up in the sun with those cans spray painted black, I'm hoping that will push enough air through to actually circulate the air. I guess we'll see. Think it's gonna work, Claire? Just making sure those chickens don't escape. Always watching. What a nice dog. She's helping make sure that the chickens stay in their coop. She's a cattle dog. Yes, since we don't have any cows, she's a chicken dog. Sit. Lay down. I think she knows not to stick her head too far in there. Now I did see a video where someone made a similar shape for one of the solar heaters, and they used a pipe that they bent in this kind of intestine tract shape where it zigzags back and forth up to the top. I'm assuming that the more time spent in these hot cans, the hotter the air can theoretically get. I'm just hoping it travels well enough, because I think they used a solar fan, which I really don't want to have to set up a solar fan out here or anything. But I am still thinking about some kind of heating device for their water. I really don't want to run a cord out here from the house. That'd be annoying. So we'll see. This will be our first winter with these chickens. And of course they have a little water inside too, but that'll be annoying to have to fill that constantly with warm water in the winter. But I did start setting up this piece of foam to go in this space. So it's insulation, and I'm gonna try to cut out some grooves for the cans so they can stick in a little bit better. But you see I cut down the sides of the little triangle of foam, and I put some notches in the bottom that should allow our latches to still work. And then it'll tuck in right up at the top. These should still be able to go. And it should fit snugly right against there with the little lip that I made for this kind of trim area. And I'm hoping just the insulation will keep it warm. I have a piece for the other side too, it won't have a heater on that side. This will be the south facing side. But then we'll have just another piece of foam that I'm gonna throw in under the awning over here to try to keep it a little bit warmer up where they roost. They've got a roosting bar. That's right where those screws are. So I'm hoping they roost up high. Right now they like to cram all into the little egg boxes on the side when they sleep. But I'm hoping in winter they'll go up a little bit where it's warmer, more insulated, and higher. Black screen method, where you make a frame and you put black screen over it. I got it for nice and cheap at Goodwill. I got some. So I used a roll of screen and I put it, kind of folded it up and glued it down around some of the hardware cloth that we had from our chicken coop anyway. And hardware cloth is good for a lot of different things, sifters and whatnot. So I put that all together and give it a little bit of the black primer for now. And then I'm getting all the pieces to assemble the actual box that it's going to go in. So I'm putting that together now, using a little bit of liquid nails and some small finishing nails to hold that in for now. And hopefully make a airtight window that screen is going to fit inside of, and it'll heat up and the air will pass through the bottom, up the top, and then out a hole somewhere in the top as warm air for the chickens, hopefully. There's the cans on the back to shoot the air through the chicken coop. And here is the finished product. It's got the screen in there. Used a couple types of sealant to get that plastic, like a harder kind of plastic on there. It's from one of those poster frames. And let's see, it's kind of in the sun right now. This is the hot air out. I can feel some warm air. Obviously it's not like pushing through like forced air or anything, but it's coming in here cold. And yeah, you feel it's pretty warm. Maybe I'll have to get a thermometer and see exactly how warm it's coming out. I just set it up now, so it hasn't even heated up all the way. I have the chicken coop heater set up in the sun now, although of course there's a bunch of clouds. Seems like there's always clouds when people try to test these things. So it's supposed to be gathering the sunlight in there. And then let's see how it's gonna do. So the temperature outside right now is 80 degrees. And I put a tiny thermometer in there, in the area where the air comes out. And that's obviously where the cold air goes in, down at the bottom. So let's see what our thermometer is saying. Feels warm. All right, it is pretty much hard to tell. It's kind of maxed out there at about somewhere around 100 and what is that supposed to be? I guess that would have been 120 down at that mark. Is that right? They only marked the 110. It's kind of hard to see. It's kind of fluctuating there, so I'm guessing this is topped out. So I would say that this is working as intended, at least for now. Let's see when we attach it to the coop. Hopefully it'll bring up the temperature a decent amount. Even if I can get just like 15 or 20 degrees more than the outside temperature. At least something to keep the chickens warm passively in winter. And now we're finally finished. Just waiting for some paint and little gap filler to dry. But it's on there. Got a little bit of a, that's just like a little cap that I put on there that was holding up the screen, but it's doing fine without it. So it fell down. That's pretty much all sealed up, so there's not really any change in it now. And probably in the summer I'll cover it up so it's not heating up the chicken coop. But that's a long ways off. We're gonna have a long winter. So I'm hoping that heats it up at least a little bit. Warms up that air coming out the top. It's got the 2 air intakes. They're kind of hard to see, but they're in the very corners there. And then the, it's a bit possible to see the big air outtake, I guess it'd be, outlet that goes into the very top of the coop. So I'm hoping it warms up the coop nicely for them. We'll see. It's getting down into the 50s now. Of course, it's a super overcast day, so it's probably not really making much heat today. But there it is. I just gotta clean up all the tools and supplies. The dog thought she was helping and she put her ball in with the tools. She's been a big help during this project.